Well, hi there. Thanks for joining Coffee with Granny. My cup today is from my first church I went to when I moved here to Amarillo, St. Paul United Methodist. Very good people and a good church. I don't go there anymore, but they gave me a coffee cup when I was going there. I wanted to visit with you this morning. I've been thinking about my experiences as a young cook. Didn't know beans when I got married. My mom was the type of person that would rather do it herself, and she didn't want you in the kitchen. I mean, it's not that she would have shoved us out, but she never asked us to help. And so I had to learn by kind of what she fixed and watching her. Well, we probably had been married about a year or less, and lived 45 miles out in the country, and I wanted to fix spaghetti. And I went down to the neighbor, which when we talk neighbor out in the country is 2 or 3 miles. But I went to her house with my package of spaghetti, and I told her, I said, can I borrow a pan? I don't have a pan big enough to cook this spaghetti. I can laugh now. It's hilarious. That woman was so gracious. I know she about swallowed her tongue trying not to laugh. But she told me, she said, honey, when you put it in the pan, it just, it'll shrink in the heat of the water, and you'll be fine with whatever pan you've got. She was very gracious to me, but I think about that all the time. I don't know if that lady's still living or not, and if she is, if she remembers that, but I felt ridiculous. I went home and I thought, oh Lord, Jacqueline, you made a fool out of yourself. But, that's the innocence of youth and not knowing what you're doing. So I always managed to put a meal on the table, and the very first meal I ever made my husband was meatloaf and baked potato. I thought I had just made a feast, but I could tell that he just wasn't all that impressed, but he ate it very graciously. He ate it. But later in years, I realized he does not like meatloaf, and a lot of people don't. But after 40 some odd years, he decided, I guess, he was going to learn to eat that meatloaf, because he did, and he ate it and asked for it even sometimes. But he liked to have the leftovers and slice it and make a sandwich out of it, and that's what he did. And a meatloaf can be fixed lots and lots of different ways, with crackers or with oats or, whatever kind of breadcrumbs, whatever filling you have, an egg and some onion and Worcestershire sauce, and you got it made. And we had it as a kid a lot. Back then you could buy a package of hamburger meat for less than $1 at the most. And my mother could cook that hamburger meat in 100 different ways. And I learned to do that because it was economical. And when I was missing one thing, I couldn't make the one thing, I made the other thing, So I just learned to be very frugal and learn how to stretch and make it last. And my husband eventually, he was just a steak and potato man, like a lot of men are. But as he grew older, he ate anything I really put in front of him. I mean, I knew not to give him what he just did not like. But he learned to really have a good variety, and he would eat whatever I fixed him. But don't it just irritate you to death when you ask somebody, what would you like for supper? What is the age-old answer? I don't care. You just go in there and fix something. And then you put it on the table and the nose goes up or the frown comes, you know. It's just the age-old question is that's a subject at many houses. I know it is. What would you like for supper? Just my advice to you, if there's any young people watching this, don't ask. Just go fix it. No, don't ask. Just go fix it. Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about today was making your first meal and how did it go over and were you a success? And I guess nowadays young people don't know how to cook. I mean, from scratch, they don't. They don't have a clue. I didn't make macaroni and cheese from a box until I'd have been married 35 years. And we made our own spaghetti sauce too. There wasn't spaghetti sauce in a jar. You know, all the ready mixes, they weren't around when I was first married. So we had to learn. And I think it'd be good if they had to learn again. So happy cooking, I guess. That's what I just wanted to talk about is laughable moments, things that we did, and funny memories. Thank you for joining me today, and you have a wonderful day. And until we meet again, God bless.